My video for June the 10th, 2018 is entitled, Great is Thy Faithfulness. Mind control? As I sat meditating on which of several subjects I would talk about in my next video, I realized I was humming, then actually beginning to sing an old hymn I learned as a child, Great is Thy Faithfulness. Even after I caught myself and decided that would make an even better topic than those I had listed, as soon as I went back into my meditation, I started humming the same thing again. I laughed at myself since I realized it was being done subconsciously. It makes me wonder how often we fall into the auto mode. Perhaps I do it more than I realize, not catching myself most of the time. While I pride myself in being fairly more conscious than most people, perhaps my sense of pride is just one more aspect of myself that I have to overcome. That may not be as easy as one might imagine in a world driven by mind control, most of it unconscious, which is how the controllers would like to keep it. Oh, Lord. You know, I've been awake already. It's what? All right, I've been awake for 4 hours. It's not 5:30 yet. It's 5:25 by the clock. And I woke up about 1:30. And of course, I stayed in bed for a couple of hours trying to get back to sleep, not wanting to be, but then it finally got time that I needed to get up and start doing things because it was ridiculous laying in bed, tossing from one side to another, trying to get back to sleep and only getting more frustrated. And then I started going in, I got up and I started going into the meditation, and I have a list of subjects that I'd like to make videos on. And it, as I said, just in the blurb, I'm finding myself humming and singing, and I'm not thinking about that. You know, it's not coming from my conscious mind. It's coming from a subconscious of things that I learned. And I realize, even as I'm saying it now, that I fall back into humming hymns and recalling things that I learned as a child, and they're coming back now. And I'm wondering how much of this is mind control. Obviously, God has not done the things that I was told as a child that God was going to do, and I have not been able to fulfill the mission that I felt I've had my entire life. How much of my life is just driven by something outside of my control? And I'm living, while I pride myself in being conscious, I'm actually not. I'm actually quite unconscious. Now, is that true? I hope it's not, but I imagine it very well might be, as illustrated by what I just shared. Now, I've been going through a lot of reevaluation of myself, my mission, and my purpose for being here. Sometimes I get to thinking so hard and meditating so hard and wondering so much that I literally get pain in my chest. And then I think, well, am I going to die now? But of course, it passes. Everything seems to pass. But one of the things that came to mind is I've been getting requests from a particular individual to make more videos with this person. And I've made videos with other people throughout the time since 2011, when I began, January 2011, when I began making videos every day. I've made videos with quite a few people. There's only one person out of all the people that I've ever made videos with that hounds me day in and day out on making the next video. Only one person. I bet you can imagine who it is, but I'm not going to name that person. Maybe that person will listen to this video and say, well, that's me. But probably not, because sometimes I wonder how conscious that individual is and how much under mind control that individual is. I wish there was no such thing as mind control. I wish we all had free will. And I'd like to think we do. But do we really? Do we really? Or are we just following a script written by somebody else? And this is all just a big scam called human life. I hope that's not true. God, I hope that's not true. But then again, is the God concept just another mind control? For us to think that somebody other than us as individuals has control of our lives. But objectively, I would say that there are beings that do have control over us, whether we admit it or not. And again, most of us are unconscious of just how deep this thing goes. This is a subject that needs to be looked at. And perhaps I'm being shown some things that force me through accidents and circumstances to look at things more deeply. Now, somebody wrote to me in a recent, I think it might have been a comment on my most recent video before the one that just was posted this morning, about love is not the answer. You know, there are other things that we have to get to before we can even learn how to love. I mean, this individual made it sound like love is a real challenge for most people. And I can buy that, because we're under a mind control system where we're convinced certain things. And one of the things that we're convinced is that we have to, that the most important thing in the world is being right. Well, is it? I don't think so. I don't think so. Being right, or thinking we are right, is a mind control thing. It's something we've been programmed to do, to fight for being right instead of loving. I still say love is the answer, even though I have a friend now another friend that disagrees with me. And I've been going through a lot of my friends are moving. One of my best friends, who I've been going to meetings regularly with at this person's home for a number of years now. And I just was told last night that she's moving the end of this month. She'll be an hour and a half, 2 hours away from where she lives now, where I live. So that whole political aspect of the spiritual community is relocating or backing Donald Trump. Actually, most are relocating. Most have already relocated to other areas. So I'm losing more and more of my circle of friends, and I'm being challenged more and more to be more introspective and to consider things that might not be comfortable to consider. Anyway, folks, I'm expressing my feelings and my thoughts, and quite honestly, I feel confused. How much longer do I have? God only knows. But I do thank those of you that take time to listen all the way to the end. Namaste.